Hello, and this is the tutorial for how to close crop any image. So I'm going to use the example with the owl. So if you want to go download that template, it'll be a good starting point and you can follow along pretty easily with that in mind. So first thing I need to do is to just I'm going to first show you how to crop using the brush technique. So the first thing you're going to do is click on your layer, make sure it's selected, apply or add a layer mask, which is this icon right here. It adds a separate layer that's kind of attached to it. And with this, you want to go to your brush tool, which is right here, or the hotkey is B. I suggest learn your hotkeys because it's way easier. So layer masks work in two ways, with two colors rather, black and white. So white adds color back in, black takes away. So when you add black, to switch these two here, you press X is the hotkey for that. And then you just click and drag with your brush and you'll see that it takes pixels away. Add them back in, white, and then you just cover over everything like that. So you could literally just go around and cropping out like this. It's not recommended because it'll take a really long time for more intricate images. You could also increase the size of your brush by right bracket, which is just below the plus or the delete key. It's kind of in the middle there. Makes the brush a little bigger. Left bracket makes it much smaller. You could also press shift and left or right bracket to feather the brush off. That's really, really feathered. Shift and right bracket, and it makes it more solid. And there's a few variations in there. So you could literally just go around, like I said, using different brushes rather, and cut it out that way. Like I said, it's not recommended. And you'll also notice that your mask shows up on your, like the black and white show up on your layer mask over here, which kind of gives you a good indication as what's visible or invisible in this case. So for the next part, I'm just going to delete this layer mask. So now I'm going to show you how to do it through a path. Click Path, make sure your layer is selected, click on the Paths tab, click on New Path, which is right over here. Creates a layer-like element here. And with it, you need to use your pen tool to create a path. What I like to do is to get my window nice and big. Actually, not right away. Get it just slightly bigger. And I like to go right on the corner, just off the canvas, like right there. And then I like to zoom all the way in. That hotkey for that is Alt or Option on a Mac. And then you could from here you can just keep clicking all the way around, which gives you a very sharp, non-rounded edge. This owl's kind of round though, and this will be tedious. So I'm going to show you how to manipulate the anchors and the direction lines. When you click and drag, it kind of creates this arc between the two anchors. So you want to kind of encapsulate what you want to eventually cut out. From here you can actually manipulate the direction line by going Control and manipulating these direction nodes like this. And you can like increase and decrease the length of the direction. Or if you go Alt or Option, you can manipulate just one. And that way I can bring that there, and on my next anchor I can arc it that way, and I can manipulate this, so undo, manipulate this node so it goes a little higher, and manipulate this direction line, go that way. And you just kind of want to keep going all the way around, like so. To pan your canvas, you press spacebar and click and drag, make sure the little hand is visible. And from here, just keep cutting all the way around. Okay, so we are now completed creating the path. Next thing we're going to want to do is press Control or Command on a Mac and hover over your path, and you'll see that the cursor changes to this marquee tool. When you click, it'll select the path. So this is the crawling ants that I was talking about. From here, you can go select and mask, and this window shows up. So these are all the options that I was telling you about earlier. The transparency will bring the transparency of the background in and out. In this case, we want all the way out. Smooth, let me try and zoom in here. Smooth kind of smooths out the edges where it's less harsh. You can kind of see it right here when I go back and forth. So you want it a little smoother. Feather, that's what you want to. For me, I don't like feathering past like a few pixels, so I usually stay within the 1 pixel range. Shift edge will bring your cut a little closer to the subject or a little further, like that. Maybe I'll go just a tiny bit inward. Okay, so I like this. This is not bad. From here, output 2, I like to go new layer with layer mask. This way it creates a new layer with a layer mask without touching my old one. So if I go back to my layers, I have owl that's cut out and my owl that's still intact. One thing that I like to do, and this is just personal preference, I like to make a new layer, put it right under the layer, the mask that we're trying to manipulate, and I like to fill that with the random color. So Shift and delete or backspace, contents, color, make it a bright color, something that's obnoxious. Okay, so here it kind of gives you a clear indication of what belongs to the owl and what doesn't. And because we did some non-destructive editing, we can go to our layer mask, click the layer mask here, go to your brush, zoom to where you think there's a troubled area, manipulate your brush so it's a little nicer to work with, and you can kind of see that I'm just going to cut out some of the unnecessary black that I think is no good for this owl. And of course, if you make a mistake like that, press X and you can bring it back over like that. Yeah. And it's a little bit of touch up here. Once you finish up all your touch-ups, you can get rid of this mask. And from here, you can export your owl into a PNG so it has a transparent background, and then you can use it for whatever purposes that you need your close cropping for. This is my tutorial for close cropping. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.